in the state of California, sobriety checkpoints are really just an overtime scam. They've been put up by the unions at the state level for many years now. The funding comes in from the state, and beyond the financial issues, there's a constitutional issue. We have the right; it's ingrained in the Constitution to travel freely and to not be subject to searches and stopping without any crime being committed. So for the rest of us, the 99% of drivers who are obeying the law, for us to have to stop is absolutely a violation of our constitutional rights, and I will not support that in any way.
I would second that. I've seen the statistics and followed them closely at the County of Orange, and the case that this money is being well spent, I think, is a very dubious one.
Hello, my name is Carrie Stewart Dixon. My only child and daughter, Courtney Frances Stewart, was born on December 6, 1988 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and died on April 9, 2009 in Fullerton, California, killed by a drunk driver. Two of her friends were also killed in that crash, Henry Pearson and Nick Adenhart. The fourth person, John Wilhite, survived but was internally decapitated. Perhaps if there had been a DUI checkpoint in Fullerton that night, Courtney might still be with me today. The young man that killed them had a suspended license and no car insurance. If he had even been stopped at a DUI checkpoint the night before and was not drinking, his car would have been taken from him and it would have not been on the road the night he killed my daughter. You might think that checkpoints only catch on average about 4 drunk drivers, but what if there were no checkpoints and one of those 4 drivers killed one of your children or family members? Would you then be proud of your choice to turn down this money to support the checkpoints? These checkpoints not only take drunk drivers off the road, but they also issue citations and take cars away from people who should not legally be driving, just like the young man who killed Courtney. Even if it's just 4 DUIs issued in a night, you could be saving anywhere from 4 to 16 lives that night, maybe even more. Just imagine waking up in the morning, turning on the news, and seeing your child lying on the ground with the yellow tarp over her, dead. A part of me was killed when Courtney was killed. Can you put up her picture? Do you have her picture? You can show it to the audience, too. I will never be the same, all because of a drunk driver. I lost my only child and best friend. She and I could read each other's minds and finish each other's sentences. We were so close. That bond has been forever broken. She was a straight-A student, a cheerleader, golfer, and sorority sister. She was planning on graduating in communications at Cal State Fullerton and wanted to be a sports broadcaster. She had so much life ahead of her, all brought down by a drunk driver in Fullerton. I would like to know exactly who you're trying to protect in your decision. Please take the politics out of this and help save lives. It could be your own family who you are protecting. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, I want to say I'm shocked, Mr. Kiger and Mr. Whitaker and Mr. Seaborn, that you have chosen to turn down $50,000 in grant money for sobriety checkpoints. It's ridiculous. This is my son, John Wilhite, who was internally decapitated on the night of the crash, April 9th, in the city of Fullerton. It's a miracle that he's alive. He's lucky to be alive. Sadly, the other families lost their kids. Excuse me, I lost my place. Courtney Stewart, Henry Pearson, and Nick Adenhart did not survive the crash. I wish there was a DUI checkpoint the night of April 9th. I hope none of you ever have to go through what we've been through. DUIs save life. If it saves one life, it's worth it. Show the picture again.
My name is Tony Wilhite. It's my family here, and we're here to question as to why you would turn down $50,000 of grant money, free money given to you by the state to prevent something like this. I'm shocked by it. Mr. Kiger, Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Seaborn, I'm just surprised that you would vote in that way. Mr. Kiger, you're a father, husband. If it was your wife or your daughter, would you be a little more concerned and not concerned about violation of your constitutional rights, or whether it's a scam or whether it's ineffective? It could have been effective that night, and it could be effective other nights. And I'm just shocked that you would do that. I applaud you, Sharon, Ms. Quirk-Silva, and I applaud you, Mr. Chafee, for voting in that fashion. Thank you.
Last time I spoke in a fashion like this was at the court hearing prosecuting the guy who killed 3 and severely injured my brother. So last time I spoke like this. Brings back pretty bad memories. So just a few facts. The Center for Disease Control studied sobriety checkpoints and found numerous studies that show they can reduce alcohol-related crashes and fatalities up to 18 to 24%. This is off the MAD website. I mean, that's pretty drastic percentages right there. I mean, I'm 25 years old. I was in a fraternity. I like my drinks as much as anybody else. I have buddies that, to this day, know exactly what our family went through and the other families, and they'll still try to drink and drive. You know, the days they don't drink and drive, the days that there's holidays, and they know there's DUI checkpoints out there. It's not in a textbook. It's not on the website. It's a fact of my friends that love partying but are sometimes irresponsible. Those days they do not drink and drive. One study found that there was an average cost savings of $50,000 per checkpoint. That's $250,000 if you take this $50,000 grant away. Others have found that, other studies have found that checkpoints save $6 to $23 for every dollar invested. That would be $300,000 to $1,150,000 with that $50,000 grant. John's medical bills alone were millions of dollars. Figure that out. Sobriety checkpoints have a higher visibility and raise the perceived risk of getting caught. This means they deter people from committing the crime of drunk driving and save more lives, exactly like my friends. And once again, the United States Supreme Court ruled that checkpoints are minimal and acceptable intrusion given to the benefit of preventing impaired driving and noting the small amount of time required of non-impaired drivers. Additionally, public support for sobriety checkpoints is high, with 73% of those surveyed supporting the use of checkpoints in their community several times a month. Reading again on the website, the MAD website, every checkpoint, on average, is supposed to take about going through a red light. I mean, if we can't wait that long, I don't know what's wrong with us. And, I mean, they were all crushed going through a red light. I mean, this is just kind of ridiculous to me that we're even here. Thank you, though.
Mr. Kiger, Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Seaborn, this is ridiculous based on everything that we've been through here. I live in Manhattan Beach, California, and Manhattan Hermosa. I don't even think we have close to 47 bars in our downtown area within 4 blocks. That is a lot. There's a lot of drunk drivers doing that. Mr. Kiger, to quote some of your vlog stuff you do, these are handy bonus programs for Fullerton cops. You think these were started to give extra bonuses to our people that make us safe? That is horrible. That's ridiculous. Some more quotes from you. Interrogating hundreds of innocent drivers while boosting the cops' overtime pay, sucking up impound fees, and filling the pockets of their friends like their buddies at the impound yard. That's ridiculous. Something else. So on a checkpoint in March, there were 16 cops that had 6 hours of overtime, right? Only caught 4 drunks. Only 4 drunks. That could have been 4 lives, 10 lives. What value do you put on a life, on your wife's life, your daughter's life? I mean, not only were there 4 drunks caught, people post on Facebook. I have friends that post this stuff on Facebook, and I have to reply that I hope everyone that drinks and drives gets caught. Facebook, Twitter, I mean, the amount of publicity that these things bring, think about the numbers that didn't drink and drive that night. It is astounding. And like my little brother said, I mean, I don't know what value you put on someone's life, but this is a precious life that we have. And at a stoplight, 2 minutes? You can't stand going 2 minutes through a stoplight to have this stuff possibly stop from my brother's head falling off 3 years ago? And Courtney and Nick and Henry? Henry was my best friend. This is ridiculous. You should be embarrassed since you're the ringleader. And Mr. Seaborn and Whitaker, I hope you figure it out. Sharon and Doug, thank you a lot. This is such a no-brainer. Thank you.
Okay. There's TV and microphones here, and I'm embarrassing myself a little bit. But if you guys allow these checkpoints to cease to exist, the blood's on your hands. Every day you open the paper, you could have something to do about it. So please, figure it out. You can. For me, my friends, please.